Hey, it's a smoke down. We're back after a break, another week.
After a break.
Yes, but it always feels hella long after every time. It's just 1 week off of.
But it wasn't a week off though. You're tripping.
Was it not?
Nah, I was just hold on. You're right. It was a week off.
It was a 4th of July weekend. Yeah.
We didn't record last week, right?
Not because there was no UFC last week.
No, yeah, because I'm thinking about because it's weird. Because I was at the UFC that we went to 317.
Yeah.
Run back them results, man. How do we do?
Yeah, well, for the show, we didn't do too hot. Here, you went 1-3, minus 2 units here. With the one you did hit, though, was Beneil Dariush. Hey, shout out to Beneil. I ended up betting on that, too, man. That was a good one for Beneil. And then the one you missed was Hyder Emil from the Bay. And then we both missed on Brandon Royval at plus money, which was a close fight, I thought. Crazy ass fight, amazing fight, if you will. But Joshua Van, man, this young kid is on the up, super up. And then the one you missed for the parlay, Tracy Cortez won, Ilya Tapora definitely won, and Pantoja won. But Lima ended up losing to Frank Ocean's boyfriend, Peyton Talbot. Shout out to Peyton Talbot, still looking good. Pause and no pause. But yeah, hey, he's still a prospect, bro. He just had that one, quick, kind of like rookie fraud check for a second, then he had to just regroup. But he did look a lot better, look a lot bigger. Pause, and yeah, still killing it, bro. And like I tell everyone, bro, you can take a dick, you can take a punch.
No.
But hey, to each his own. For me, bro, not so hot either for the show, man. I went 0-3. One of my fights got canceled, the McVeigh fight. Got rescheduled with somebody else and then canceled again. So
this card, right?
Yeah, loaded as fuck.
Very exciting.
And then I missed Royval at plus money. I missed the worst one I thought was the Kai Kara France plus 210, but he just looked like shit. He had nothing. And then I had a parlay with Cortez and Lima, and Lima didn't pull that one out, but understandable, man. So, yeah, wasn't so great of a card for us on this one for the show, but early looks, kind of dog hunting in a sense.
Great card though. Being there live was lit.
The fights were lit. Toporia's the king.
Toporia's the man. Everybody's saying Royval versus Van fight of the year so far. Yeah, man, it was a good card.
That was crazy, but yeah. I mean, now, are you a believer in Topuria now, or?
I mean, you can't deny it until somebody comes in there and does it. Like,
yeah.
You finish all them three in like first or second round. Yeah, you can't deny it, bro.
I had a coworker who went to their very first UFC. That was their first UFC on the floor. They were 6 rows back, and I was getting all these videos, and he didn't know. He was like, I don't know any of these fighters tonight, and I'm like, what? So I had to put him on a little bit, but yeah, he met David Goggins in the back.
What a
that was
goof,
pretty sick.
Oh, he got the VIP stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was juiced. He met Marab.
That's it.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. But yeah, man, we got a little cool down card now, but I mean better than nothing, right? We got a fight night. It's in Nashville, so it's not in the Apex. Yeah. And there's some decent names, but the headliner is Derek Lewis against Teixeira here, Taliesin Teixeira, no relation to Glover.
And then this guy will be in attendance, the Hype Killer.
The Hype Killer. That's why we had to bring him on here.
I will not be in attendance.
You're not going?
I was, but the flights were all messed up, and the red eyes. Like I would have got there like at 2:30 in that day, and I just decided I'm not going.
Damn.
Well. Yeah. But yeah, man, you were there. You were originally supposed to go supporting one
$200. $200 to sit on the floor at that place.
Hey, that's jug.
Yeah. The tickets weren't the problem. It was the flight. Like I said, like I had time off work, but the problem was like if I flew, whether it was Thursday or Friday, I lose half a day there, and I'm paying full price for the hotel. And I was just like, no, I'm not doing that.
Well, still got to tune in here supporting, Max Griffin. He's also on this card that we'll talk about for sure. But let's start at the bottom here, man. For those joining us again, get on your Tapologies. We're going in Tapology order. And yeah, not Sure Dog. No shout outs to Sure Dog. That was good. But yeah, we got a horny fight to start out here. We got Fatima Klein against Melissa Martinez. Klein, a crazy huge favorite to open the card here at now minus 1,200 on Bet Online, but I saw her at minus 1,400 at one point. Pretty fucking crazy, man. Melissa Martinez plus 800. But yeah, man, any thoughts on this? We'll let Hype Killer go first, you know?
I'm trying to think. What's her name? The Fatima. Isn't she dating like Blanchfield?
Is she?
Yeah, I think
Cool.
she's dating.
That's nice.
Hey.
Yeah.
Lesbian action.
I don't know. I really don't have much to say about this other than like you just look at those odds, and typically I hunt the dogs. She is Mexican, so I do want to go for Melissa, but I just you look at her record. I can't really see any reason to pick her other than maybe an upset. But how? I don't think she's going to beat her by a split or unanimous decision. I think she's probably going to get finished in this fight.
Yeah. Yeah, man. This fight is not trash because it might be. Klein is a real prospect. Well, I think she has that ground and pound, that a little bit of grappling. But I think on this feet, it's gonna be a lot, in my opinion, a lot closer than what the odds are indicating. You know, not to say that I think Melissa Martinez is gonna win. I think she's definitely the lesser fighter here, but she also has that Mexican fighting spirit, and like I'm not ever laying minus 1,200 or whatever with, especially on a low-level women's MMA fight. You know, Fatima Klein this is a setup for her to win, but we've seen that happen where it was upset too. So is dog or pass in that sense, but I'm not betting on Melissa Martinez. But I think that she could last, man. I kind of like the over 2.5 here at minus 165 or so. I think that she could survive. I think she's a tough girl. Not sure. I don't think she's ever been finished, actually. So, you know, that's one thing that she got going for her. So I like the over here. But as far as the side, I picked Fatima Klein to win, but I'm not laying that with that.
She's minus 1,400 on my bookie.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, she's
crazy.
minus 1,200 on this. Yeah, I just pick her, but I got no hot take, nothing.
Yeah, I wouldn't even add it to a parlay. You know what I mean? Like that's not even worth the risk and reward.
Yeah, first fight of the night at minus 1,200 is crazy.
Yeah, you might. Let me see if they have any props for this one, because the only other way I would look at it personally is actually like Klein. A lot of people say she's going to finish, but Klein by points is minus 115. I don't know. It's not amazing, but it's a lot better than minus 1,200.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Next up, man, we got. Oh shit. We got not so horny of a fight. We got sorry. My shit's doing it. Mike Davis against Mitch Ramirez. Mike Davis here, the Beast Boy, huge favorite again. He's like minus 900 right now, and Mitch Ramirez plus 600. Pretty damn crazy odds. Yeah, any thoughts here?
No, Mike Davis I heard has Lyme disease, and
Yeah,
I just
I heard that,
ever
yeah.
since Jim Miller I was like, oh man, but Jim Miller came back. Mike Davis looked kind of whack in his last fight, I think, but the problem was he was making all those excuses. I think he said there was like paint in the back room, that he was sniffing and getting high on paint or something. Mike Davis should win this fight, but we'll see. They're about the same age. They're about the same. I mean,
900 is crazy.
yeah, he's not even on my bookie. My bookie doesn't even have this fight on there currently. As of filming.
This is pretty crazy. I'm actually a Mike Davis. I wouldn't say like super fan or anything, but like I think that he's definitely like talented as hell. He's just not really. It seems like he's not into it. He's not as active. He just started fighting again, and then like you said, already had excuses or things that were out of his control, but he's already bringing it up. So you don't even know like how deep in it is, and you know, in fighting here, especially any sport, but especially fighting, it's like it's more than just the skill set. It's more than just your talent. You know, you need more than talent. You need that next level mentality. You know, and that's the one thing that I'm like, no way I'm laying minus 900 with Mike Davis with those question marks. Whereas Mitch Ramirez, he might be a psycho. You know, like I think he's done bad things from his history. Like, you know, he had a tough upbringing, tough life. I think he's been to jail. You know, like, and he like fighting is like how it saved his life or turned his life around. You know, one of those stories. Mm-hmm. So, Yeah, I mean, and he did fight Thiago Moises recently. You know, like even though he got beat up and finished with leg kicks, like that's decent. I think a big step up in competition for him. He also got knocked out by Carlos Prates on Contender Series. You know, so I think that. Yeah, I think that he's faced some people that are decent talent, and he might upset. I don't think he wins. So obviously the pick, I say that Mike Davis is going to win. He's the better fighter, obviously, but psychologically, I don't know. I think Mitch Ramirez is there's value at plus 600 for those that want to take a shot on a dog. That's all.
I will probably sprinkle on him by KO just to be crazy. But Mike there's just no way you're touching minus 900, minus 1400 unless you want to parlay them together for a minus 600, minus 500. Bring it down a little, but that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it would be like a minus 500 if you parlay those two.
Even then, you might as well go find somebody else to put in there.
Yeah, but that's crazy, man. Is this like PFL odds or what? What is this? Like, what is going on?
It's nasty because it's like the prelims. It's like fuck. Literally the first two fights of the night. That's crazy.
Here we go. We got a potentially cool or real stinky fight. We got the heavyweights here at Kennedy and Nchukwu against Walter Walker, Johnny's brother. And they got Kennedy here as a slightly big favorite here, minus 210 right now. Walter Walker plus 180. And it's, Kennedy has been moving up to heavyweight here. I think last fight was his first heavyweight. Was that correct? No, 2 fights ago, actually.
Yeah, what's he doing? He's always doing like 205, heavyweight.
I think he's permanent now on the heavyweights. But he's only had 2 fights in the heavyweight, and they're against Lucas Bresky and Chris Barnett. He finished them both in the first round, though. So.
Hey, another thing, I think the Walter guy, I feel like there's value on him. He's not like his brother. I feel like he's tougher than his brother. His brother got the flashy stuff, but I think Walter got like the grit and the toughness, better chin. And then, Kennedy's always sus. Like, you don't know what you're going to get with him. He's not like, they be juicing him up, but he shows up and be looking like, sometimes he looks good when he's getting these guys out in the first round, like you just said, but sometimes he just looks like straight dog shit. And I feel like, Walter, if we can make it like, try to take him down and, make it a fucking shitty fight, he might be able to, because he's a natural heavyweight too, right? So
yeah, he's a big guy. He's not the same build as
Kennedy's
Johnny
just
Walker.
hella tall.
6'5".
Yeah, and long arms. So obviously the striking is it's night and day. It's grappler against striker, Classic MMA, UFC matchup as far as that goes. I'm with you there as far as Kennedy and him being sus. He's looked good, so I understand why he's the favorite, and obviously on the feet he's going to be the much better striker, better reach, taller. But he is definitely a little older, and I think Walter Walker, he's a little better than what we were giving him credit for at the beginning, because he did lose to Bresky but looked like shit. But I believe he took that one on short notice possibly, and also he's also improved every time we've seen him since, physically as well. Like, he's getting in better shape continuously. So for me, if he could get Kennedy on the ground, I think he could even finish Kennedy on the ground. Whether it's ground and pound or choking him out or something, or heel hook. The last 2 he won was like a heel hook, which I don't know if there's going to be a third heel hook, but it's possible with the long legs. So I'm going with the value too. I'm going to go Walter Walker here.
Yeah, this one I want to wait to the weigh-ins probably, but like you just said, for sure wouldn't turn down Walker, because like if Kenny doesn't get like a crazy speedy like knockout the way he be doing lately against these like tomato cans, I feel like it's going to be a rough 3 rounds.
Not sure if he can get back up. How about you, Hype?
I'll definitely be going with Walker in this, and I think it's probably submission. He's a wrestler, and I feel like he's just learned how to do heel hooks out of nowhere, and so he's just locking them in. And his heel hooks are scary when he's grabbing these guys. And Kennedy, like Nesto was saying, just he looks chinny too. Like when he gets clipped, he kind of looks like the stanky leg out there. Like he gets real nervous and he tries to backpedal and then pressure up against the cage. Walker's, I don't know. It's Johnny Walker's brother, and I kind of like going for the brothers. Like at the Toffer brothers later today, like I kind of like rooting for the brothers. So I'm gonna go Walker by submission, probably first round, to be honest.
Yeah, another thing, like you can, you would think like maybe it might be difficult because Kennedy is so tall and long and lanky, but he trains with that every day with his brother. So you know what I mean. He sees that. So. Yeah,
Well, Walker's an inch taller. He's 6'6", it says.
That's what I mean, though. Like, a lot of people can't ever get in the gym with somebody of that height, and it's like, you don't see that, and he gets to see that every day. So, like, say he's yoking his brother, he can maybe just yoke this fool.
I'm sure he's yoking his brother.
Walker by sub is around plus 600, so not bad.
Damn.
Not bad.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. Next up, man, we got the second horny fight of the card here. We got Lucky Lauren Murphy against Eduardo Mora. Man, this is Lauren's retirement fight, I believe. She already announced that.
She's done.
And, I mean, the odds reflect that, too. You know what I mean? And she hasn't fought in a long-ass time. I think she's on plus...
2 years.
Yeah,
over 2 years.
25 right now.
And she looked like shit her last couple fights, I want to say.
Yeah, she's also almost 42. She's turning 42.
Yeah, and then, this is all bad. I'm going with fading Lauren Murphy at all times.
Yeah, she was getting beat up by Jessica Andrade bad.
Well, remember she had got on that little streak where she was on fire, and then like something happened where she took a long ass layoff and then came back and just like age, and then
she had a title shot. Remember, she fought Shevchenko, and I was like, "Yo, what the hell?"
Yeah, what the hell?
Hey, she lasted though. She lasted. Getting whooped.
To the fourth, yeah.
Getting whooped.
And I remember, like, she came off of a split decision win against Joanne Wood, and then got a title shot. I was like, wait, what? What the hell?
Well, JoJo was like, she was set to do something. Like, remember they were like, JoJo's supposed to get a title shot, but they kept. I think that's when they were having that. They're having that back and forth, where it was like the same fight in the women's division a couple times in a row. I think that had something to do with it.
They ran out of people, essentially.
Yeah,
that's what it sounded like. Joanne Wood. I remember they were hyping her up, and I was big on the fade train, especially after she's like, I'm trying to start a family.
Hey, she won her last fight though. I mean, Joanne Wood, she got the skills, but she's one of them fighters that always in her own head.
Yeah, mentally she's not 100%. But yeah, Eduardo Mora is one of those prospects, man, from Brazil. Her nickname's Ronda, 11-1, but she's already 31, so she's kind of peaking. This is like her time right now. But the people she's fought, I mean, she beat Veronica Hardy most recently by decision. Lost to Denise Gomes by split. And then beat Montserrat Corneo. So they're really hyping her up. Obviously, I'm not going to take a hot take here. I like Mora, but I don't like minus 600. I don't think that Lauren Murphy needs to be plus 425. I think the odds are a little wide here. So I'm not sure if I'm going to bet on Lauren Murphy because I don't know if she's going to win. But I just think she's going to look a lot better than what the odds are indicating. So for me, I'm going to wait. Maybe we see the weigh-ins. Maybe we see how motivated she is. Because Mora has had issues as far as cutting weight. That's one thing. And let me just double check the weight here. Flyweight. Yeah, this is still flyweight. So we'll see. I'm going to see also for Lauren Murphy too because she's old. I know she's never had like crazy weight issues from what I remember, but she was also a recovering addict. So.
She was a bantamweight that moved down to flyweight. I'm actually going to be picking Lauren Murphy in this just because I like Lauren Murphy. I like that dope fiend look she's got. So I'm rooting. I'm hoping Lucky's lucky one more time. And it's sad when you see the fighters when they retire take an L in their last fight. It's just damn.
See, that's the thing. It comes from Japan, the Japanese way. If you're losing, you gotta fucking retire. If you're gonna win, you might as well keep on fighting. That's the Japanese way.
Let's see if Lucky's got it one more time.
And every time they say like, "Oh, I'm gonna retire," it's like, "Oh, you might as well fade them like automatically." Like just like we talk about next week is gonna be Poirier and Holloway. Let's go Max. Hey, might have to double Max parlay for this week and next week.
Hey, that's Hey, the odds are kind of crazy. I do see the value in Murphy, like I was saying, because Mora opened minus 350, which is already a big favorite, but now she's all the way to like 600, 650. So like that's kind of crazy. That's all, but. Yeah, I mean, no hot take. I guess that's kind of I'll cheer for Lauren, though. I'll tell you that. So,
dude,
hopefully.
The over is minus 310 on my bookie right now.
Yeah, about the minus 285.
We don't fuck with my bookie on here, bro. We bet online. Stop saying that shit.
We need a sponsorship.
I'm trying to get a sponsorship, man.
Well, I'll take my bookie if they're giving sponsorships, but whoever is sponsorships. But, yeah, I always tell people, get some multiple books. Shop around. Next up, man. we got, okay, this might be a little banger here. We got Jake Matthews, the Celtic kid, against Chidi Nwankwo. Man, this might be a race war. No. But yeah, man, this is interesting because Chidi's actually old, man. He looks always in great shape, but he's 36, going on 37, and then you got Jake Matthews, 30, going on 31. So the age is there, but I believe Chidi is the favorite here. He's minus 155 right now. Jake Matthews plus 135. Thoughts?
It's another guy in Nwankwo, man. He came in like during the COVID where he was like knocking people out. Of course, brother of Anthony, but he's been winning his last couple fights, but he's also been like an underdog. He's been like sketchy though, messing with him, bro. And I don't know. I feel like Jake Matthews might be on a little resurgence. He's on a 2-fight winning streak. You know, beat up Phil Rowe. That's a good fight. Lost to Michael. His last loss was to Michael Morales. That's nothing to be ashamed of.
Mm-hmm.
I might go with the underdog on here, man. I'm gonna go with the Jake Matthews.
The Celtic kid. Hype.
Yeah, I've been bouncing back and forth on this fight probably the most out of all the fights because I like Jake Matthews. I think he's well-rounded enough to take on any of the welterweights. I think it's not fair to call him a prospect anymore because he's been in the UFC for so long, but I don't know. Chidi's weight cut is crazy. To go from 185 down to 170, that's an insane weight cut that he has to make. And I think he missed weight in his last fight. But the thing is when he uses his kicks at range very well to keep the fight where he wants it. But Matthews is going to have, I think, definitely the upside when it comes to wrestling. So if he can crash and get inside and take him down, because Chidi, I mean, it's hard to keep him down too because he's so long. But I think that if Jake can, I could see Jake winning this by like submission or something, just like tiring out Chidi where he doesn't want to be in there anymore and finishing him. But I don't know. I've been bouncing back and forth, listening to everybody, but I think I'm gonna stick with Jake Matthews on this one by decision. Probably, but I wouldn't be surprised if he got like a submission in there or even like a TKO, just like mounting him and going ground and pound and just finishing it that way and have the ref pull him off.
What's in Nwankwo by knockout?
Probably plus 400 or something like that.
Plus 315 on Bet Online here.
Because I mean that's what happened in his last fight. He was losing, but then he slept Elezi Zelakisti dos Santos. Remember he was
that's crazy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think if you play Chidi here, you have to sprinkle on the knockout, right?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of, especially him.
Well, his clinch game's insane. Like if he gets you clinched up, it could be a wrap.
That's how he knocked out the dude, was a clinch and a knee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, and his build is that Muay Thai striking build, like, lanky, slim, strong. Yeah, I mean, different styles here. I think Chidi's the rightful favorite, but I don't, like you were talking about, Nesto, you're talking about Chidi's a little sketch at times, but, on the feet, obviously he's superior. He's going to be superior. But I think Jake Matthews is going to have to take him down, grind on him, a little ground and pound, hunt for a couple submissions here that just to threat him. And then, just keep riding him out, pause. Because if he stands and he starts to try to just strike it out, he's definitely at a big disadvantage, obviously in height and reach, but just overall skill set too, like on the feet. So, yeah, but I like Jake Matthews here. I think he can take a decision here, and I just like him on the odds. I think if you give me plus 135 right now, I think that's not bad, So I like Jake Matthews here, but the money's been definitely coming in on Chidi here, and I understand, but I like Jake, and I think he could take him down here, and that's the big key to everything. If he doesn't take him down, then we're cooked.
Or if he can't take him down, it could be all. Cause didn't he? Who did Jake Matthews lose to? I don't even think he's in the UFC anymore. The Jedi. Didn't he lose to the Jedi? I have a. I can look it up, I guess. Yeah. You know what? I'm flipping my pick. I agree with everything I just said, but I'm going to. I'm picking Chidi by knockout, probably like second or third round. Now that I'm looking at it, maybe in first. We'll see. But he's OG. He's been fighting for a long time, especially in California. He was a California champ down in SoCal. So I think I'm gonna flip my pick to Chidi after thinking about that for a second. So yeah.
Chidi by KO, like we were talking about, plus 315. I feel like that's a play of you playing Chidi.
What's him by decision?
Plus 140. So technically the most likely outcome, because Matthews got chin. We were talking about that too. Like he does have a chin, and you know what? Even though he doesn't finish people like that, like he can throw some bombs. he's
Yep.
just not technically sound comparatively to Chidi as far as striking goes.
Because I think I remember the reason I'm being salty about it right now is before the Jedi fight, he smoked somebody. Like, he pieced somebody. He looked like a boxer out of nowhere. And then he got beat up by the Jedi. And I was like, what happened? He looked like a different fighter going from one fight to the next. But anyway, that's all I got to say about that.
Maybe we wait for the weigh-ins before we start firing, too. That's another thing. Because if Chidi doesn't look good, that might also be a problem. But yeah, next up, man, we got a nice banger here that you're very fond of here. We got Chris the Action Man Curtis against Max Payne. Man, we'll let you start, man. But you already know the odds are kind of wide here. You got Chris Curtis at minus 300 or so, and then you got the other side here with it kind of disrespectful. I ain't gonna lie, but Max at plus 265. Yeah, Chris Curtis is minus 315.
Yeah, I've listened to everybody on YouTube, and that was the biggest reason I actually requested to come on today's episode was nobody in the MMA betting, picking, prediction world on YouTube has picked my boy Max Payne Griffin, and I felt like I had to be if there's only going to be one person, it had to be me, seeing that I do my predictions, and I get on every now and then. But I'm still on the Payne train. We're riding the Payne train. It's not one more time. It's I do know what I know about what's going on in this fight. I just want to quickly wrap and say that I see Chris Curtis. Chris Curtis fan. I enjoy Chris Curtis's fights. I enjoy all his fights, and I usually pick Chris Curtis in all his fights. In this fight, I see why people are picking Chris Curtis because he's going to be the quote-unquote bigger guy coming down from 185 to 170. Chris Curtis fought his entire career at 170. He's actually even fought at 205 before in the past. But when he took his short notice fight in the UFC, he was at 185. And he's a pretty stubborn guy. He's a very sensitive guy. So if he sees this, yeah, brother, I called you a sensitive guy. That's why he's offline. You can't find anything, so I've had to do a lot of research through his teammates, Sean Strickland reposts, things like that, so I could see it. I mean, you saw him last weekend. He couldn't take a guy tell him to suck it with the DX sign, and he got in there and started saying, "You don't say that. You don't say that."
That's your boy, also Strickland.
Strickland
was worse. He was throwing.
Strickland threw a punch that didn't even phase that poor guy. And it's so funny. I think I seen a meme where it says when your mom comes in after she told you to clean your bedroom, the way he comes in with his flip-flops, that was hilarious. But that just shows you, like, those two guys, I'd love to see them as best friends again because I didn't like when they were hating on each other over politics. But they make terrible decisions together, and I'm hoping that bleeds into this fight. They're probably going to ask him a bunch about it at the press conference this week. I wish this fight was the main card opener. I wish that with just the name value on Chris Curtis alone that they move it, but I think Max is, I know what they do with Max, and they set Max up for a lot of these fights. I had to really go back and watch some of Max's last fights to be real on this pick, and I've seen him throughout the entire camp, and he looks great. I saw him Sunday. He did not look drawn in. He looked really good. He's still eating he's still eating a lot, to be honest, going into the weight cut, and Max doesn't have an issue with weight cuts. Chris Curtis, he's gonna need to really dial it in. He's looked good. I've seen a couple photos of him during his weight loss, so he's looking like he's adapting to the 170 weight class.
Well, he's a real 170er. He just fights.
Yeah. He's thick,
because look at the size comparison to a lot of people. You know what I mean? Even against Gastelum, he was low key undersized at 185. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, technically,
those are both blown up 170 guys.
Yeah, and Max is actually going to be a little bit taller than him. Max is still the bigger fighter in this fight. But what I want to say is that the one thing I keep hearing a lot online is that Chris Curtis is going to be faster, stronger. I do agree. He might have more carry, and the body shots are real. Body shots and those left hooks are crazy from Chris Curtis's counter shots. But I know that people they're picking Max or picking Chris, saying Max is old and all that. They're about a year and a half apart in age. But I think Chris Curtis has taken a lot more damage over the last 5 years than Max has. And if you look at Max's one loss and one win that I looked at a lot going into this fight was his win against Jeremiah Wells. Jeremiah Wells, even though he's up there in age as well at 36, almost 37 now, he was very fast and he hit really hard. He's not going to have the accuracy or the boxing that Chris Curtis does. But then if you also look at the Michael Morales loss that Max had, Michael Morales was just interviewed after his Gilbert Burn wins by Yoel Romero and said, he goes, "Who's your toughest fight in the UFC so far?" And he said, "Max Griffin." He goes, "Why do you say that?" He goes, "Because he hit me, and he hit hard." So I would love to say my boy's going in here and he's going to sleep Chris Curtis because he's not going to have all that liquid up in his brain like he should going into this from the weight cut. But Max could slip. and he's gonna wait, and he's not gonna fall into Chris Curtis' game where it's applauding like I'm gonna come towards you. Chris Curtis is gonna have to move to Max. Max is gonna want to because he's gonna want to sidestep, and he's gonna try to pick his shots. I could see this being a really sloppy split decision. Max is in almost every one of his fights a split decision. Chris Curtis is also in quite a bit of split decisions as well. So I am very one-sided on this fight. It's my boy. I am going to pick Max Griffin. I'm going to pick Max Griffin by second round knockout is what I'm going to pick. So that is going to be my official prediction for this fight. Chris Curtis, I'm a fan of yours, dog, but you know what? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Max, and I think that Max has been training his ass off, and he's been pissed off since December. So we'll see. I'm excited. Let's go. Max Payne Army all day, man. Max Payne Army.
Yeah, man. Shout out Max, of course. We're gonna be super biased on this show. He's our
Hell yeah.
one and only guest. You know what I mean? A UFC fighter, but yeah, I'm rolling with Max, but it's gonna be an uphill. It's a tough battle for him. The deck is against him. His last fight did not look good against Chiesa, and the first time he's ever been tapped out. Mm-hmm. This fight, in my opinion, I don't know shit, but I feel like he has to grapple with Curtis because I don't like the standing with him. He's gonna have to mix it up for sure. Because like you said, Curtis can stand with whoever, and heavier guys. You just put that in my brain. I forgot that Chris Curtis has been fighting at 185 when he's supposed to be like a 170 or so. And the guys he's been fighting, look, Kopylov, Beirut, like
Allen,
he's fighting some big dudes, like, you know what I mean? And like, and against Kopylov, he low-key got played. They stopped the fight with 1 second left.
He would have lost that fight anyway, but
nah, I don't know. I think he could have stole it. Like even against what's his name, against Brandon Allen, people thought like
it was Brandon Allen. They played him in that fight.
But that's what I mean. Like he can hang with these guys, so it's a big fight for Max. You know what I'm saying? Because this is also like who he's been fighting lately too. Like look at you know what I mean? But I mean, you're biased, bro. You're gonna say whatever for Max. That's your boy. So just
let me add two more things.
Just calm down.
Let me add two more things. Two more things. Go ahead. No, I don't want to say him. No. So the funny thing is the last two guys that Chris Curtis has lost to, they beat, right? So Chris Curtis was scheduled to fight Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, right? They never got that fight because Chris Curtis had to pull out from injury, and then Anthony had to pull out from injury. Both those guys Chris Curtis lost to, Fluffy was Fluffy's last opponents, and he beat. Max was, in those 2 times that they were scheduled, Max was shadowing and pretending to be Chris Curtis in those training camps. So Max knows Chris's style and has been watching him because he had to imitate him during sparring. So that's why I think that Max, a lot of people don't know that. I probably shouldn't have said that, but Max knows Chris Curtis' style. But just because you know style doesn't mean you're able to avoid punches, getting punched in the face. So, and another thing too, the Jack Hermanson fight I think was the blueprint on how to beat Chris Curtis if you don't have the quote unquote knockout power. And if you can frustrate Chris Curtis standing up and just moving out his way, he starts. What are you doing? Why are you running? That's how he gets. So if you can frustrate Chris Curtis and just step out of the way, he's got to charge forward. And I think that's where he makes his most mistakes. But the only thing that scares me is that he's very quick with that left counter, especially the uppercut. So as long as Max can kind of avoid those big shots from the left hand, because he sets him up pretty well, I think Max can win an easy decision. But I would like to see him get a big finish just because of disrespect that they're doing to him.
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously, MMA SmokeOut is Max Griffin fans. So it is disrespectful. Like, the first thing I noticed when I saw the card is like, damn, they didn't put him on the main card. That's super disrespectful because we over here, we got fucking Turcos Tocos over here in the main card. Like, we got Austin Lane on the main card. Like,
oh, I know.
What the helly? Like, what are we doing here, bro? What are we doing here? But yeah, so to hit the age thing, like you said, that's not a big deal. You got both of them are old. Like, that's just the reality. Chris Curtis, he's damn near 38 years old right now. And then Max, almost 40, 39 going on 40. So I don't think there's a big age discrepancy in that, manner that people would say Max is older or whatever it is. I got to see the weigh-ins because I want to see how Chris Curtis gets back to this type of weight, right? And what he looks like because he's a thick guy, man. He's muscular, and part of his size is the Philly shell. So like Nestor was saying, I think Max is definitely going to have to mix it up. You can't fall into. I don't know. Obviously, what happened with Mac's last fight is just I felt like he just fell into trying to strike and he wasn't winning in the striking. And as long as he changes it up from that, then I think he's going to have a much better chance than what the odds are indicating. Because I do agree the odds are disrespectful as hell. Plus 265 on Max against Chris Curtis. I think this is going to be a little closer than that. So I think the value is going to be on Max. So if I like what I see in the weigh-ins, I mean, I might take a shot on Max. I like Max on that side by decision. I think it's plus 450 or something like that. I think that's not a bad look for the odds either. Because I think, in my opinion, most likely if he wins by a decision. I think he needs to just like bank a couple rounds. Like, you know, you had 3 rounds. If you could get Chris Curtis down once, I think and hold him down for maybe a minute and a half, you know, like even, right? And do it that way, and then just keep mixing it up, keep him guessing. Because once he gets in his flow, right, like Chris Curtis, like no racial, he's like Black Sean Strickland in a way, you know, like similar style in some ways, in the striking and the Philly shell, and you know, like blocking with his shoulders and rolling with the punches all the time. So that striking side, he doesn't throw a lot of looping punches, you know. And I'll say, you know, based on at least the most recent fights we've seen from Max, like I feel like he does throw more looping punches. He has the power, like if he connects, he could knock out somebody for sure, like anybody. But yeah, I think that's going to be what I'm going to have to see. Like, but betting wise, you know, I'm not going to advise anyone to just fire on Chris Curtis at minus 315. You know, like I just don't think that's right. So I'm going with Max in that sense. Value betting wise, I think he's live here, but it is going to be a real tough fight. You know, like real tough. Yeah. You know, do you think either of them are like? Do you think Chris Curtis is going to retire, win or lose, depending on the situation?
No, because like I was saying, for Curtis, his last 2 fights have been iffy. You know what I mean? Like they've been sketched. Like
he's not getting better. That's for sure.
Yeah, but this is like I don't know. It's like a perfect fight for the both of them because this is like, you know, 2 older guys at the almost like, you know, the twilight of their career.
This is a good matchup. I mean, I like the matchup. I like the book.
I heard somebody call this the Unk special of the week, and I started laughing when I read that.
That's for sure.
And, I think, you know, that Kovalov fight, when he got stopped by him, I think he realized, like, I got to move down to 170. But the thing is, it's like, brother, you're moving down very late in age, down to 15 extra pounds you have to cut. You have the weight to lose, but will it be good for you and the performance? I heard somebody talk about speed too, and it's like, I don't know. You've been fighting 185ers that are a tad slower than the 170ers, so you really have to bank that on Max's age and everything. Just like his last performance, Kiesa's got pretty good wrestling and jiu-jitsu. We obviously saw that. He's not going to have to worry about getting taken down by Chris Curtis in his fight. Who knows? Maybe Chris Curtis comes out and he's a wrestler and he takes him down. Who knows? We don't know, right? But I don't think that – and I can tell you right now, Max has been training with Joey Rodriguez, you know, getting hands better over at Alpha Male. So I'm excited.
It's 2 good camps. Look where Curtis is training. He's training out of Vegas, so, you know, he's training with the who's who over there also. It's 2 good camps. Like I said, it's 2 older guys. Like you said, the Unk special of the week.
Get your velour suits and Jordans ready.
Don't clip that. Clip that. That's disrespectful. I don't want to be on record saying that.
We're very, you know, we're very involved with Max and biased with Max Griffin. But yeah, so we just got to pull for our boy regardless. So
yeah. Hey, shit.
And
he's
that's
underdog, bro. I think the value is there, though, regardless.
Nah, you know? For sure. He's live, for sure.
I wouldn't say that if he was the favorite. If he was the favorite, I might have bet on Chris Curtis. I ain't gonna lie. Like,
one statistic I saw about this fight that made me kind of go, You know, because, you know, I'm looking for any reason to just, like, shove it in your face, like, this is why I'm picking him. Outside him just being the homie is, you know, Max wins 78% of the time 1 round in every fight. 78% of the time. So it's usually the first round. And Chris Curtis, he's usually very slow in the first round. He's trying to, like, take in all the info, get ready to go. So hopefully he's very slow in that first round. And Max not only just, you know, he's lighting him up, but maybe gets a finish. Who knows? And wouldn't it be sick if Max, like, reversed it and got a submission on this fool? I mean, that's, like, the craziest shit ever, but that would be kind of cool. I was thinking about that on the way over here, like, oh, man, what if Max fucking took a rear naked choke and put him out? He's got him.
A guillotine out of nowhere?
Dude, that'd be ill, dog. That'd be ill.
He'd be like in the stand and bang, but he has the wrestling. You got to use it, bro.
No, don't stand and bang.
He he averages 2 takedowns every fight. So, but Chris Curtis has been at 185, you know, and he's not getting taken down a whole lot. And when he does, he usually pops back up. But yeah, I know we've spent a lot of time on this fight, but fuck it.
That's fine.
Shout out Max. Let's fucking go.
Max. All right. Max with the max bet does. Next up, man, we got the main card here. Man, opening out Junior Tafa against Turcos Tokos. What the hell? Like, this is crazy. But it's at 205, man, not at heavyweight.
Well, this is the brother.
Yeah, but he was at heavyweight before too.
Oh, but he was like the light heavyweight though, kind of. Like,
he's skinny. He wasn't as fat.
Yeah, he's not a big dude like that. I mean, he's a sketch fighter too, but so who's Tuku Taki, like Taki Tuco's Tacos, like
Taco. I think his name's Taco, right? Taco.
Tuco's Tocos.
Hey, shout out Mother's Tacos. If you in the area, go to Mother's Tacos.
He sounds like the dude from Breaking Bad, Tuco, right? But, yeah.
Hey.
I don't really care. I don't really care for this fight. Like I said, even the Tafa guys are always like a big letdown, unfortunately. So, yeah. For the pick, I guess I'll pick Tafa, but you never know. I feel like just because of the way you never know how the Tafa guys fight, there's value in the Tuki.
Hey, Junior Tafa is minus 160. Tokos is
He looked good.
140.
He looked good in that photo they released of him this week. He's lost a lot of weight. He looked good. So, but we'll see. The Tafa brothers, I feel like, man, they got all the ability, and then they just don't give a shit about winning. There's like, if I can't knock you out, it's a whatever.
Just like one-dimensional, like Islander street fighters. Like that's just they would have been good on like the Kimbo Slice scene.
The big brother had the brother at heavyweight, he had like some success, but then now all his fights are just some kind of like weird controversy, dumb shit.
He's saying he got kicked in the nuts in the last fight, and that's what made him drop after it wasn't an elbow that dropped, because he lost in like a minute, right? I think a minute into the first round, and he was telling somebody that he got kicked in the nuts, and I was like, what?
Hey, I was watching a few shows, and they showed a slow-mo of that. He did get hit in the nuts, though. But, I mean, not to say that he would have won or anything, But, hey, he did get hit in the nuts. But, yeah, man, I think I like Junior Tafa here. I just, like you said, the problem with the Tafa brothers, especially Junior Tafa, not to group these two in together, but, like, their styles are pretty damn similar, as far as they're mostly punching. Yeah, they'll throw the leg kicks here and there, but mostly it's going to be the ones and twos, and they're going to throw power. I just am excited to see the new weight class for him at 205, a lot slimmer, because maybe he's going to have some faster hands, and that's the part where I'm going to like. The only thing is if Turcos Tokos or whatever, if he starts wrestling, that's always going to be an issue. I don't think he's going to do that. I feel like he's going to be the type of guy to want to stand and bang too. But he does have on the minor league scene. He has
shit.
Out. So
hold on. I just had to look at the little Tafa's record real quick. He lost. He was one of the guys that lost the heel hook to Walker.
Yes.
And he lost the unanimous decision to Usman's little big brother.
Muhammad.
Yeah, but you know what? If you go look at Taco, it's not much better. This is kind of a super. This is why isn't the Chris Curtis Max Griffin fight starting the card off? Why is this shit here? You know what I mean? So I guess Tafa. I mean, I don't even care about this fight because it shouldn't be on the main card. But I think they're going for let the bodies hit the floor. I think on a couple of these fights. So I think that's what they're banking on, like just to see people get just straight up murdered. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that's the case. We're gonna see this because. Like I said, styles, a clash of styles, but I like that. I like Junior Tafa skinnier. That's all.
Mm-hmm. He looks like he has a new Tapology picture too. I just looked at. I remember that picture.
Yeah, he's more slim.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what he was just. I think only going to heavyweight to cover for his brother for a little bit.
That'd been funny if he pulled that Jose Canseco shit where Jose Canseco's brother stepped in for him a couple fights.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
Next up, man, we got another what the helly? But I get it. Victor Petrino, they're trying to push him against Austin Lane and the heavyweights though. Petrino going up to the heavyweights.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, is Lane coming down? Because that's a big motherfucker, dude.
Nah, I don't think Lane's able to come down. So this is going to be in the heavyweight division. So that's real interesting. I think it was because Petrino's been having issues cutting weight to 205. So he just said, fuck it, So, yeah, I think the odds are pretty crazy. This is another one of those wide ones. You got Petrino minus 700, Austin Lane plus 500. But I'm just going to say this. It could be disappointing, but I just think that skill-wise, Petrino's just levels ahead. The only thing, again, is, of course, he could get knocked out like he's done before. Like, he just got knocked out by Dustin Jacoby, and that was in the 205. So, here in the heavyweights, Austin Lane, he sucks, but he still could throw power.
Hey,
he's a big boy.
Jacoby's a beast, though. You got to remember, Jacoby is
I fuck with Jacoby.
A glory kickboxer. So
he just starched somebody. He just starched somebody like a month ago, didn't he?
Yeah, where he came, and then he came back from it. Was that the one against? It was one fight against Petrino.
Talking about
right?
Jacoby?
That's who he starched, was Petrino, right?
Yeah.
He just fought. He just fought and knocked somebody out.
Bruno Lopez. No,
Oh,
he just starts Bruno Lopez in the first round.
You know what? And to be fair to Austin looked pretty good in the first round in his last fight until he couldn't get that guy. That guy knew what he was going to do to him, and he knocked him out. But Victor. I can't even say his name. Vitor. He just lost to Anthony Smith a couple months ago, and
it was like 2 years ago.
I'm upset about that because that gave the UFC the right to put him against that dude from China that he should not have been fighting.
That was like 2 years ago, bro. That was like a whole fight. Smith fought somebody else already after that fight. He fought Khalil Roundtree already after.
It was a year ago. It was a year, right? It was May 4th last year. I had to look it up.
Yeah, but he fought Roundtree after that, right? Or was that before?
He fought after Petrino, Anthony Smith fought Roman Dolidze, then Dominic Reyes, then Min Yang Zhang.
3 fights.
3 losses. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, but I mean, once again, man, a lot of these odds, I mean, it's gonna be risky, bro. Like, I get it. Like I said, to me, Austin Lane does suck, but he's a huge dude, like you were saying. He's athletic. You know,
he's like that football fighter kind of guy.
Yeah. Like an Eric Anders.
And he has that chin though. His chin isn't there, like so.
Yeah. But the odds, I mean, he's old too. That's the other piece of the puzzle. Is like he's almost 38. He's about to be 38. So I understand the odds are being wide, but it's the first time we're seeing Petrino in the heavyweights. We got to see the weigh-in. Does he look filled in? Does he look full? Maybe it's better for him, you know, because he's not drained.
If anything, Petrino is gonna be able to take him down.
Yeah, Petrino's really good. I think skill for skill, he's way better. But minus 700 is kind of crazy.
What's the under?
Oh, that's a good
spend too much time on this shit.
It's probably
under is 1.5. Under is minus 160. 1.5.
Yeah, they definitely got the under.
And the over is what?
Plus 130.
Plus 123.
I can see it going over. Especially because it's his first fight at heavyweight. If you want to just like wrestle him and be boring.
Mm-hmm. We'll see.
I could see Vitor taking his time too, trying to like not rush in and get hit. Because is this his first heavyweight fight? Because that's one thing about these heavyweight dudes. They hit way different than the rest of the roster.
And he doesn't want to find out because, like I said, if Austin Lane's a scrub for the division, he still packs a punch.
Yeah.
On his pass. But anywho, next up, man, we got a little man banger now. We got Nate Landwehr fighting Morgan Sherrari at 145. Nate Landwehr is from Tennessee, so the crowd's going to be into it. He is already getting old, 37 years old, whereas Morgan Sherrari's 29, turned 30. And they got Sherrari here as a favorite, minus 270, Landwehr plus 230.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, Landwehr. What do you think? I know there's some Landwehr fans.
I think Sherrari's been stepping in his game up lately. His record looks kind of sus. Like out the UFC, he took some L's, but ever since he's been in the UFC lately, he's been like stepping it up, trying to become one of them guys in that division. Landwehr, I feel like it's just the age might be done, and then also it's going to be the speed factor. Sherrari's going to be too fast for him.
Yeah, Sherrari's bouncing back too because he just lost recently, but to good competition to Nathaniel Wood.
That was Wood was an underdog on that one, but that was a close fight.
Yeah, and Wood's actually skilled, really skilled, you know.
Yeah, he's just one of them two that gets in his own way where he has the hype, but he don't deliver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's his name? Landwehr here. Most recently, he lost to Do Ho Choi. He got finished, but before that, he did knock out Jamal Emmers. That was big, and then lost to Dan Ige, which is respectable. So. You know, what Landwehr are we going to see? Because he did look like shit last fight, for sure.
A loss to Do Ho Choi is sketch, because especially, like, Do Ho Choi fell the fuck off after that Cub Swanson fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think he had to do his Korean, military time, so that messed him up, too. So, and then, like I said earlier, Landwehr is just too long in the tooth now. Like, he never was, like, top 5, top 10, but he was always, like, a durable guy that get in there and make it a good scrap, but Yeah, I think Charrier's on the bounce back. I think he's gonna get a little bit of that in.
That
yeah.
French
I think Captain Morgan. I think it's Captain Morgan's fight to lose, and I don't see him losing to Nate. I like Nate, but I think the Pirate's gonna. I think he's just gonna win. He's better skilled.
Get his booty.
He looks good. Yeah, he looks good too. I like him. He's a good fighter.
Yeah, he's handsome.
Yeah, I didn't say that. I just said. But
yeah, you did.
You said he looked good, so.
Thought it.
I swear I didn't say that.
yeah. I'm with you. I mean, obviously, I think I'm going with Morgan Charrari as well. I mean, minus 270 is a little much. I think Nate Landwehr always puts up a fight, right? But he's obviously on the tail end of his career here. Charrari's just starting to get into his.
Yeah, you can put up a fight, but then it's like getting his ass beat, though. He's just like in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when people say you got a good chin sometimes or you're tough, it's just like that doesn't mean you're a good fighter. You're just good at taking punches sometimes.
Bro, one of the most
durable.
One of the most disrespectful comments I heard this week on our earlier fight was, "He's as tough as a $2 steak," and I was just like, "Damn, that's
old.
That's grimy." Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I hadn't heard that in forever. So somebody bring that up. I was like, "Damn."
Yeah. Unk special of the week is funny.
Yeah.
Week. That's
that's crazy.
They're gonna come out in some flip flops and shit, and the wife beater and shit.
Ready to grill something. But yeah, as far as props here, I also think Morgan Charrari by points plus 145. Maybe Nate Landwehr, he's gonna put up a fight because he's in his hometown, so he's gonna get finished if anything. He's gonna fight till the end. So.
That's cold.
Hey, man, that's what usually happens with the favorites, bro. In the home, that's the thing. UFC holds no mercy. It don't matter if you're home. Away,
wherever it is, the real deal. This ain't the WWE.
Exactly.
You just had your third kid? Sorry. They do not give a fuck about you.
Though, just show up.
It just hurts. You only get half your paycheck. That's the shittiest part about the UFC and MMA when you watch it. It's like these fools only get half their paycheck. But I guess that's the incentive, right?
No,
how bad do you want it?
That's also like if they fight though. That's why the UFC fighters, everybody be talking about they don't get paid, but that's why the UFC fighters don't complain and they don't disclose their pay. Because they get
For
paid.
real.
They're full amount,
They get paid other shit, too, that's not on the books. I mean, that's not on that thing that they put out all the time.
Raw Dog, in his last fight that he lost, Dana said he goes on paying his full pay because he took that fight against Joshua Van on short notice, and that was a great fight. So, Dana does shit like that. That's tight. Well, he gets a lot of shit. Yeah.
But that's the whole thing they've always done ever since, the Fertitta brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's why the UFC, as long as you come to fight, they keep you on there if you're on a fucking 4-fight, 5-fight losing streak. If you always, are in there at least trying, they're going to mess with you.
Taking them short notice fights, helping the company out. They like company guys. They'll take care of those dudes.
Yeah, next up, man, we got could be a potential banger here. We got Steve Garcia against Calvin Kattar. Garcia's slight favorite here, but close to pick'ems. But Garcia's minus 120, 125. Kattar plus 100, 105 here. Under over is actually 1.5, with the over being minus 160.
Yeah, who's ever finishing Calvin Kattar like that? And the thing about Steve Garcia, he had went on a hot super run where he was just dropping fools, but then he hasn't fought in a while now, right?
September
of what? 2020?
2024. He knocked out Kyle Nelson.
Yep, first round. Then he knocked out Dohu Choi right before that. Then he finished Mezcal or whatever, the guy that's vitiligo guy, Costa, the Brazilian one.
Oh, who's been a beast now?
He's on a 5-fight knockout streak right now. Yeah. We were supposed to see him. He was supposed to fight Edson Barbosa up in Seattle when we went.
Oh yeah, this is supposed to be against Barbosa too. Yeah, this fight got super canceled. That's whack.
Yeah. I like Kattar. I got a Topps Chrome, a black 1 out of 10. I pulled to him. I was super juiced, and then I realized he's 1-5 in his last 6 fights.
Yeah, but look who he's been fighting. Also, he had some bad injuries. It's been close ass fights. We seen him fight in where was it, UFC 300, and I feel like it was a close fight.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an interesting fight, like you said. Garcia's on a 5 knockout streak. It's all been in the first round.
Yeah.
There's a couple too. There was two twos, I think.
Because how is he gonna be when he gets out? And then also, this is also out of all those people you name, he's been knocking out. This is the best. Fight. You know, this is
for sure.
Fought goats, and then like for the title, like who's trying to get a dub again? Is Calvin Kattar? He's on he lost his last fight too.
He's lost. Yeah, he's on a 4-fight losing streak. And
was his last fight the one that we went to at 300 or what?
No, it was a fight night against Yosef Zalal.
Oh, hey, streaky guy though, and then Zalal fought that fight whack though. He was just grappling. It wasn't an exciting fight. So, I mean, nobody's sleeping him like that. So it's gonna be interesting if Garcia can't sleep Kattar like that. What's he gonna do? Because Cater's a boxer. You know what I'm saying? He got the hand, so he's not just a brawler. So, hey, I'm low key.
And he's in a new gym, by the way. Kattar actually moved gyms.
To where?
I forgot where he went. He's a Kill Cliff, but he basically left the cartel.
The Boston cartel.
New England, yeah, the Boston cartel.
New England cartel, yeah. Hey, yeah, I'm picking.
He's at the same place where is it Amir? No. Who's the Canadian dude that looks like Ariel Helwani that just was winning?
He's at TriStar.
Okay, that's where he went.
Yeah, he's with Zahabi.
Yeah, that's where Calvin Kattar went.
GSP's old gym.
Yeah, he went with Zahabi.
Hey man, I'm picking Kattar, bro. Fuck it.
TriStar's legit.
Yeah, so
because I said, Steve Garcia is like a one-dimensional fighter. He's been knocking fools out, but that's all he's gonna go in there for. Kattar's gonna have to maybe bust out some grappling. He's been TriStar now, so he for sure been working on his grappling.
Exactly.
And they're for sure gonna make a good game plan compared to like Garcia just wrecking shit. So yeah, I think it might be a big learning step for Garcia, but I'm going with Kattar.
Yep. Me too.
I will be siding for Steven Garcia by knockout. I think the way he crashes in and he's throwing he's got hands and power, but he also throws like a lot of leg kicks. And I think he can hurt Kattar with just kicking, just the leg kicks, because he'll kick the shit out of you. Calvin's gonna need everything in his tool bag in this when he goes to work for this one. But knowing that he's at TriStar, that's like Nesto's saying, that's a big help, because they're gonna help fill those gaps where he's been probably slipping in a couple of those fights, because he should have won a couple. Out of those 6 fights, out of those 5 losses, he could have easily beat a couple of those guys. He's a beast himself, and it's been sad to see him go on these streaks, but that's what happens to our fighters. But I'll be picking Steve Garcia. I think the streak continues. I think he's just going to come in hot, trying to get Calvin out of there early. Can he do it? We'll see.
Yeah, if you like Steve, I think you got to sprinkle on the knockout. It's like plus 220 or something. But for me, I like Calvin Kattar here. I think the value is going to be on his side at pick'ems, anything like that or better. I just think, with his losing streak and everything, people are off that train. Obviously he isn't on the tail end of his career, but him changing gyms to me signifies he's not finished yet. Like, he's not ready to just retire right now.
No.
Like when you switch gyms. And so I think, and then his durability, obviously he's always had it. He's actually never actually been finished except for an injury, I believe. That's the only time he's been finished.
His knee gave out.
But he's never actually got knocked out, So I like the over 1.5 too. I think.
Yep, I was just about to say that. I got minus 125. That's pretty good, because I do not see this being an early finish if it happens.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
I mean, I think if Steve wins and wins by knockout, it would probably have to be early and catch with Kattar. But I don't see Steve finishing him late. I think Cater's gonna last through it if he can make it out of that first 4 or 5 minutes.
Flurry, you know what I mean? Because look who Cater's been fighting, bro.
The best.
A 2022 Josh Emmett, Arnold Allen, Aljamain, and Yusuf Zalal. Those are all top 5s.
Oh, I definitely thought he was going to beat Aljo. I thought he was going to sleep Aljo.
He was gaining momentum at the end. But Aljo did enough, just backpacked him.
Yeah, that was his first fight, I think, up to 145. That was at 300, right? Isn't that the one we were talking?
That was Aljo's first fight, but it wasn't an impressive fight though.
No.
By Aljo.
No.
So that's why I said he's always in there, and then against Zalal just did I said Zalal that fight was whatever, but Zalal's streaking right now. You know what I mean?
Do you, if Steve does knock out Calvin, is Steve in the title shot picture now?
Nah, but top 10.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, so he got to win more, but he's on his nice streak.
Because look, like you said, bro. At the end of the day, if you're just looking at on paper, Kattar is on a 4-fight losing streak. So
yeah, and like you said, he only won 1 out of the last 6, so that's crazy.
So that's what I mean. Yeah, you're right. But like I said, look who he lost to was Max
The
Holloway.
best people, yeah.
The best featherweight, and that's in 2021. So.
Yeah, the best, like, not just of now, but like of all possibly of all time.
And that fight was crazy because even Max had to go on to the hospital on a stretcher later. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's crazy.
So like, Like,
next up, man, there's a lot of old fools, man. What's up? This is the old man card.
Yeah, this would get him into the top 15.
It's the Unk special card of the week.
Yeah. This is the Saturday to watch. They might as well just started this card early in the day.
For real.
Just get up early because I can't stay up and watch this shit. Next up, man, we got Stephen Thompson against Gabriel Bonfim. Man, another old man. Damn, man, Stephen Thompson, man, he's one of the rare white dudes that still look good after 40. You know? He's 42, almost 42 and a half, against Bonfim, who's 27, turning 28, getting in his prime. He's a huge prospect. This is interesting because the odds are also pretty wide. You got here Bonfim. Where's he at here? Oh, shit. He's minus 400 right now. Okay, so a little money on Stephen Thompson.
Damn.
Thompson's plus 300. I saw Stephen Thompson in some places at plus 320 at one point. What's
Bonfim by, like, submission?
Bonfim by sub, and that is, I feel like, the way he has to kind of do it to take him down, obviously. Bonfim by sub is plus 130, so that's the most likely outcome.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, bro. Stephen Thompson is all about, if you can keep it standing, maybe for him, he might have some luck with his thing, but I think just now, like, he's getting older. That back then he had, like, the speed that would help him. Like, he could go in and out. Now it's like, it doesn't look that good no more because he's, obviously getting older. And as you get older, the first to leave you is the speed. Like, your power stays, but his thing was all about the speed leading to, like, technique where he could just land perfectly and you fall into his shit, so he knocks you out.
His last fight was against Buckley?
Yeah.
He was winning that fight against Buckley till he got caught in the third round.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, he was winning. He was.
Nah,
That's the thing.
Look up the scorecards that they got for that. I bet you he wasn't. Because Thompson's been looking rough his last couple, like 2-3 fights, bro.
Well, he's on a 2-fight losing streak. He lost to
Southcott right before that too.
Yeah,
he beat Kevin
That's
Holland.
the first time he got tapped out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that's also his last win was 3 years ago.
It's another guy that's near the tail end of his career, man. But he's also obviously been around for so long. He's fought the who's who, everyone. And I'm gonna be honest, man. I know Bonfim is like the Bonfim brothers supposed to be good, and they are good. I just think minus 400. Like if you look at who Stephen Thompson just fought like recently, it's almost like a step down a little bit in competition. So for these odds, for me, man, I'm laying minus 400 with a Bonfim brother. Anyone with the name Bonfim, bro. So I'm going Stephen Thompson here. It's gonna be rough. He's old. He's on his way out. But plus 300, I think he's a little more live than what people would think. And Bonfim's gonna have to prove it, man. And obviously, he's gonna have to take it to the ground. If it stays standing, for sure, I know Stephen Thompson is closer than a plus 300 dog. If it stays standing. If it gets to the ground, obviously, it might be a wrap right away. Not right away, but like quickly after, and then he might get choked out again. But I think Stephen Thompson is going to be able to keep it standing at least early, and I think he got a shot here. So I think he's live at plus 300.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to throw Bonfim in a greasy parlay. I would root for Stephen Thompson, but I feel like, his way of winning would have to be by knockout. I think Bonfim's just going to be younger and crisper to just control the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Hype. Yeah, no, I'm with Wonder Boy. He's that fool kicked me in the face one time, and I'll never forget that shit. That put me on a whole nother. This was before he was in the UFC, and I was like, oh my! I've never seen anybody be able to move the way that guy did. Obviously, that was 15 years ago, and at 42, it's hard to be betting on people at 40, over 40, especially. But just looking at the level of competition, like you're saying, I definitely think this is a step down for Steven. Huge step up for Bonfim. He just fought Chaos Williams in his last fight. I think Wonder Boy can win a unanimous decision, just sticking and moving and getting away from him, keeping him off him, and landing bigger shots standing up because the way he's able to kind of glide in there. But again, we'll see if Father Time caught up to Stephen Wonder Boy. I definitely think it was a freak thing what happened to Buckley, but Yeah, Wonder Man. But he's going to come out to Tenacious D no matter what, and I love that song.
Yeah. I just feel like the style is going to be bad. Especially because you said, I know you said he's fought the who's who, but also, like, he's 42. So now it's like...
Well, Bonfim got knocked out to Nicholas Darby, so that's why I kind of look at it.
But look at the style of fighter, though. Darby is a bully pressure fighter. Wonder Boy is all waiting on you, and like I said, trying to lunge in and out. That's not going to work against Bonfim.
Yeah, the submission on Bonfim kind of scares me. Like if he gets him down and like takes him his back real quick, but
I mean that's his path though. Like obviously.
I hope Wonder Boy wins, but I'm just being smart.
Yeah. I think Bonfim is gonna go for the takedown purely. Like there's no way he's dumb enough to just like okay, I'm just gonna stand and bang here, and that's it.
He's 27, man. It's crazy. He's 15 years younger than him. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully, but we'll see.
But he's been on a little streak, like, ever since the Dalby fight, you know what I mean? That was just the one hiccup, and, that usually happens in MMA. You can't really be mad at that. So, yeah, I think this is one of the fights where this is like an old school boxing. It's the big name versus the younger guy to, the stepping stone. To finally get his one, like, you could say, big name on his belt.
That's a lot of these fights, to be honest with you.
I mean, that's the game, bro. Out with the old, in with the new.
And you know what season it is. But Contender Series.
But the thing is, with MMA, it's always like anything can happen because there's so many ways of winning a fight. Like Randy Couture back in the day was an OG, but it's not like he was out there standing and banging with you. He was Greco-Roman, putting you against the cage, putting his hand behind your neck, uppercutting you, elbowing you, taking you down, elbowing you. You know what I mean? Like making it ugly. So. But the thing,
that shit sucks.
This type of fight, that's the thing. That's what sucks about him. He's like a striker, and he like never evolved all the way to be like a good grappler.
No.
He's a clean guy. But he does prevent some takedowns sometimes, I would say. So maybe not Bonfim level
in the beginning,
takedowns.
But then they because even the Gilbert Burns fight, that's 4 years ago now. Crazy, time is fucking flying. But yeah, I had Wonder Boy in that, and that was like when he still had like juice, and Gilbert Burns was literally just holding him against the cage, and every now and then he was getting a takedown, but it was like an ugly fight.
That's probably gonna be the same shit. I could see Bonfim trying to pin Thompson against the cage a lot. And just do it that way and keep getting takedown. He got to be nonstop with that. I think Bonfim's got to be nonstop and relentless on the takedowns and just wear on Thompson, and then eventually he'll get it, and then he could probably choke him out. But yeah, until we see that, we got to see, man. We'll see if this boy's gonna retire. When does Stephen Thompson retire? That's the question.
Never.
That's why I wish they gave him like uglier fights, like not people who are like on the come up, but that's the name of the game.
Yep.
Like Clay Guida or something?
Yeah, exactly. Diego Sanchez or something.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
Matt Brown.
They just let him go.
Nick Diaz. Imagine Nick Diaz versus Wonder Boy.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
At the White House next year. Make that fight happen.
Robbie Lawler was supposed to come back or something like that. You know what I mean? But he's just a beast. But then his chin is like not there no more. Right,
send him to BKFC. Him and Mike Perry are supposed to throw down BKFC. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Rumors.
Yeah, because there was rumors. They were saying that he was coming back. I don't know if it was to UFC or like to bare knuckle.
Now bring Robbie back. I just want to see pure violence out of that guy again. Just where he doesn't have to worry about takedowns. He's just got to punch you in the head. Good luck surviving that shit.
Man, we got the main event now. We got the Black Beast once again.
My balls are hot.
Derek Lewis against the prospect Taliesin Teixeira, who's damn near a giant. He's a huge favorite right now. I think he's minus 270. Derek Lewis plus 230. Obviously, the under-over is at 1.5, with the under being minus 210. Taliesin Teixeira, man. He's 6'7", tall heavyweight. Also knows jiu-jitsu. Derek Lewis, America's sweetheart. Once again an underdog, of course, no surprise, right? I mean, what do you think, Hype? I'll let you go first.
That's crazy. In the co-main event and in the main event, both opponents are separated by 15 years. That's crazy. I'm pretty biased, and I have no problem showing my bias. H-Town. I think I put a lot of thought into this. I think this might be pretty early for them to be setting this fool up against somebody like Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis has looked kind of whatever in a couple of his last fights. He's traded off win-loss, but I still think that we haven't seen Teixeira against somebody at this level of Lewis. But Lewis also, has he fallen from grace? Has his skill really dropped that much? I don't know, but I love seeing him win. I love seeing his interviews. I would love to see Lewis go out there and throw a flying kick and knock this fool out real quick, but these are two big motherfuckers, dude. These are some big boys going in there to chunk some leather. Yeah, this fool is a BJJ guy. Not surprising. He's from Brazil, and it's scary to see a big dude like that be able to take your back and do something like that. And Lewis, he's got that anti-jiu-jitsu where he just says, get the fuck off me, and stands back up, but he's getting up there in age too. He's had some health concerns with back and some hip issues and shit, so we'll see if Derek Lewis can come in healthy and get back to the Derek Lewis ways. But I'm still going to pick Lewis in this fight just because I don't have enough on Teixeira just to feel like he's a minus 250 favorite like that. That's crazy.
Yep.
So especially look at who he's been fighting. It's like I don't want to call nobody a can in the sport because you gotta have some balls on you to get in a cage with another dude like this. But I can't put money on a guy that I've only seen once in the UFC, once on Contenders, and never heard of you prior to that.
Yeah, see, that was my whole thing about him when he was fighting against Tafa. But then he did what, the way he put out Tafa was crazy. But I feel like Derek Lewis is he's like a Tafa version, but a way better version than a Tafa.
Way better. Yeah.
Tafa's like a weak version of a Derek Lewis type fighter, if you want to say. But like you said, Derek Lewis been in there with the who's who. Like, it's all about if his skills diminished. That chin, is it still there? Because I think if this is going to be in the beginning, it's going to be it has to be like a super slugfest. So I'm just going to, I'm going with I always go with Derek Lewis on this show. I'm gonna go with the grown man strength, man, and I'm gonna just bet on Lewis, man. Even though I think by knockout Lewis is only plus 265 and like money line is plus 260, so it's not really too much difference. But you already know Derek Lewis, the only way he's gonna win is by knockout. So
this shit's 5 rounds too.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
If you could stack that, then yeah. For sure.
Knowing it's 5 rounds, you look at the over/under. I don't know what you got, but at my we won't say the name of my website. They got the under 1.5 minus 224 plus 158 on the over. I might even just pick the over just to sprinkle that on something, but we'll see. And maybe Derek Lewis is smart. He comes out and he takes his time and tries to tire this guy out because what's this fool's record?
This fool's undefeated.
Yeah.
He's 8-0.
No. I'm saying, like, what's his, is he getting into the second round, or is he starching people at one?
People in the first round, pretty much.
Yeah,
every time except for one kickboxing fight. But
and the only time I felt like, damn, Lewis, like, what's going on with I think when who's the good guy from Australia, the big dude who hasn't fought in forever? When he knocked, when the Shuey knocked him out, I was like, oh.
That was like the downhill for.
Yeah, and Shuey's not been doing so hot since
Oh,
but that was
he's on a.
But that's when Shuey was like. That's when he became on fire.
Yeah.
But then he's like, he's down now. They should do a rematch of that.
Hey, he's like not trying to fight no more. He's like 350 pounds right now. He's like not trying to cut weight no more.
Getting high and shit and grubbing.
Just taking dabs and grubbing, man.
Using that money, all that getting knocked out money.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like everyone else as far as, like, I'm a fan of Derek Lewis. Who doesn't love Derek Lewis? And maybe a younger Derek Lewis would have a much better chance.
I should have wore that shirt today for my balls is hot, man. I got that shit's. Shout out H-Town.
Teixeira, I mean, I know it is overhyped right now. It is early, but I just think the matchup is not good for Derek Lewis. He always, he has a puncher's chance, like every heavyweight, especially Derek Lewis. So if he does win, it's going to be by knockout, obviously, because Teixeira can get hit. He does get hit. Even when he finishes people, when you just look at his record, it is like dominant. But if you watch the fights, while he's being aggressive and he comes in and either latches on with the Muay Thai latch on, or he just starts throwing, bombs and straights and stuff like that. He's so strong, he throws straights that are still like haymakers. He does get hit in that process. And Derek Lewis, when the fire comes to him and he knows that, he's also going to go out with a bang and try to throw these crazy punches and stuff like that, and he might get knocked out in the process, but he's going to do it. And if he connects, he's going to knock fools out. So that's the one thing I'm scared about with Teixeira, because my pick is Teixeira. I think he's going to win. I think he's going to knock out Derek Lewis. I think he's going to do it in the first round and all that. And if for some reason Derek Lewis wants to get this on the ground, which I don't foresee happening, Derek Lewis is going to get choked out or something, because Teixeira is pretty damn superior on the ground here. But that's not what he's going to go for. He's not going to take Derek Lewis down, right? Unless he's probably like dazed or something like that. That would be desperation. I think he finished Derek Lewis. But I am afraid to lay minus 270 right now, because I also foresee that in that process of the fire coming in, Derek Lewis is for sure going to throw a haymaker, and if he connects with Teixeira, he could easily knock him out. So that's the one part where I'm like, oh, maybe the odds are a little wide there, but I think Teixeira is just at the right time, superior right now, and Derek Lewis has been on the decline and on his way out. So, desperation, and like you said, his back is hurting, shit's going bad. He's not in terrible condition, but it's not getting better. That's all. So yeah, I guess for the sake of the pick, I'm going Teixeira here, and I like the under. I think this is just going to be what we all think it's going to be.
Violence.
Yeah, violence. Yeah. In with the new, out with the old, or whatever. That type of shit. But that's a lot on this card. Yeah.
We'll see. I just was looking at Derek Lewis's record, and he lost to Jalen Almeida, but he didn't get submitted by him. And I definitely think if he was going to get submitted, it would have been by him.
Well, that was the fight that showed it was like, yo, what's up with this Almeida guy? Because he easily could have fucked Derek Lewis up like the whole time, but he don't throw like ground and pound like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, this Teixeira guy is going to be throwing. He's never made it out of the first round. And you're right. I looked at the record, and his longest fight was in the first round by submission.
He's like his version of that guy out of PFL.
Okay.
The guy who fought Francis Ngannou for the belt.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Exactly, you're talking about the Brazilian dude.
Yeah. 7 wins by knockout, so 1 by submission,
like
all in the first round.
This is all about, like you guys were saying, it's all about if Derek Lewis can catch him in that first exchange that's gonna happen. Put that, like I said, you got to put that grown man strength on him.
Yeah,
if he doesn't put him down, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be all bad for Derek Lewis. That's all it is. That's all it comes down to in this fight.
It's simple. I think this fight's gonna be pretty simple and straightforward on it. So, but it's gonna be entertaining for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The whole card is like entertaining. That's why it's like the older guys is getting sent in to get their heads chopped off. It's like some Squid Game shit.
Wow, this is gonna be old school. Some fools might bring back Swishers for this. I just want Swishers instead.
Because this is like an appetizer. Because like the appetizer for next week is the pay-per-view. With the BMF fight, Max Holloway versus Poirier. But yeah, who you got, man? Go ahead, HypeKilla. What's your
what's your?
I gotta go Houston. I didn't pick Houston against Joshua Van. I went Raw Dog, and I knew better. Houston's got a soft spot in my heart. I'm riding with the Black Beast one more time.
All right. Black Beast, okay. 2 plus 230. What else you got for us? We're giving out our best looks for this.
Oh, okay.
Week. Do your 4 bets. You already know you got
4 bets. Do you want Lewis as
one
of them?
Yeah, let's do Derek Lewis straight up. I want to do just a straight up pick on Derek Lewis. I don't want crazy here. You know what? No. It's going to be Derek Lewis and Stephen Wonderboy Thomas parlayed together.
Oh, you wildin'. Okay, big money. That's big plus money.
Yeah. And then I'm going to do Steve Garcia by KO.
Steve by KO. What are that? Let me look at the odds on that here. Steve by KO. I think it was like plus 220. There we go. All right.
I want to do. I'm going to do a striker parlay. I'm going to do a welterweight striker parlay. I'm going to do Jake Matthews, Max Griffin, and Wonderboy. So I'm going to tie Wonderboy back into another parlay.
Oh,
and that's going to be my
big on Thompson here.
Yeah. I got kicked in the face by this dude. This shit was. Yeah, I'm tripping. That I still haven't recovered from that kick.
You said over 15 years ago.
Yeah. We'll see.
It was when you were a young guy too.
And you know what? They're 15 years apart in this fight, so let's see if history can repeat itself. And then I also want to do a quick
your last one? This your last one?
I'm gonna do a quick 4-legger banger real quick. I'm gonna do Aaron Blanchfield's lady. Yep.
Is that real?
I don't know. I might have just started a rumor. Who knows? She may not be gay for all I know.
You're just like you're sus TMZ.
You never know.
Shout out to Stubbs.
And Mike Davis.
Okay. Oh, Davis.
Walter Walker.
Okay.
And what's her name? Edra. Yeah, I'm not going. I know I picked Murphy earlier, but just to be safe on this parlay, let's get an early four banger parlay going.
Okay, Nesto.
All right, man. I'm gonna do a greasy little parlay off the rip with Mora, Bonfim, Morgan Chartier, and Vitor Petrina.
Okay, greasy.
Yes, sir, greasy. What's that come out to?
I don't know. I gotta put it in here.
Me and
Ferrari, Petrino, Bonfim, and Mora. It's plus 130.
Man, that's cool. But yeah, I'm gonna do straight up also. Damn, what was I gonna say? Jake Matthews,
Matthews, the Celtic kid.
the
That's
Celtic kid.
135.
Doing straight up Calvin Cater as well.
Cater, that's 105.
Dude, I forgot he was on this card already.
He's the co-main event.
It's gonna be I'll do a parlay, man. We'll do Derek Lewis and Max Griffin, baby. Let's go.
Lewis and Griffin. Big dogs. That's a big one.
You know, Max Griffin and Chitty, they fought each other back in 2015 at welterweight for a title. West Coast champion back when they had that promotion.
And who won?
Chitty won by split decision.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, man. For me, man, I'm gonna go. Let's start out with Walter Walker plus 180. I like that.
I wanted to do him too. Yeah, that's a good one.
Walter Walker. I'm going to go with also Calvin Cater. I like Calvin Cater at that plus 105. At even money, I like all that. I'm going to go with Junior Tafa here. Minus 160. I know, kind of crazy, right? And I like... Do I go rounds? What was the one I like? Cater...
I'm going Austin Lane.
No, fuck no. Yeah, I'm going to stay away from Austin Lane, bro. Hopefully, he might upset, and that'd be cool. Good guy, but... Yeah, no
Has he even gotten a win in the UFC? Has he won in the UFC?
Yeah, he cried once. I forget. I remember this. He's talking about his daughter.
He got over on Tafa.
And then
he lost to Justin Tafa.
Well, the first fight.
Oh yeah, no contest. You're right. Damn, he's gonna fight both. Oh, never mind. I got Taco and this fool confused together again.
And then I like. Let's see. I mean. I was going to go with, I guess I'm going to go with Matthews. Matthews here, plus 135. I think there's value there too. So I'm going with some dogs here. But yeah, that's the looks right there. So hopefully we get something big, some plus money here. And till then, man, any last words for the people? Anything we got to look out for? PFL coming up? Not this week, but they've been holding us down. Dakota Decheva is fighting soon, so
what
July 19th.
There's a boxing this Saturday.
Shakur Stevenson?
On Netflix.
That and then the Serrano, the girls.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Netflix been hyping the fuck out of that. That's cracking.
Well, that fight's been hella good each time, so that's
It's a rematch, right? They're doing a rematch?
Yeah, the third fight.
How about the ring that's shrinking?
Yeah, that's the
What's up with that?
Fight. That's the Shakur Stevenson fight.
That's the overseas Saudi fight?
Yep.
Man, they get all the fun shit.
That shit sucks,
they get all the fun shit.
It's trash out there.
Just doing shit like that, it's like, oh man, do that over here.
It's like whack though. It's like out here, it's like the shit's like at 2 p.m. It's like, oh.
Remember they had that boxing match where they had the fucking Mike Perry fought in it. He fought a hootie box. He won the match, but remember they had that fucked up looking ring. It was like a five-sided ring, or it was like a star, some stupid shit. I'd have to look it up.
I have to see it again. But yeah. Man, like we said, shout out to Hype Killer, shout out Max Griffin. Good luck to you, my brother out
Max,
there, man.
luck.
Get this dub. But yeah, man, just like you said, hopefully we can cash on this. We got to bounce back. It's an appetizer for the big card next week, UFC 318, the last Poirier fight.
Yeah. I would be out and about that week, so in Vegas,
because
active.
I won't be on next week's card. Who are you guys looking forward to the most out of that card next week? Because the card's kind of card's all right.
It's stacked.
I'm looking more forward to the other fight, the fight after that, the one overseas. That shit's stacked.
Or
Yeah, that card looks crazy.
No, like this
That
next
that should have been the pay-per-view.
That's the Whitaker fight.
Abu Dhabi. No, maybe it's not. Abu Dhabi's the one on the 26th. Yeah, that's Whitaker against RDR.
Yeah, that card's
Peter
crazy.
Yan against McGee. Come on.
For free? For the free, though?
For free, yeah. I mean, I guess that
Well,
value
free,
matters. But hey, you got Patricio Pitbull next week against Dan Ige.
Yeah, that's gonna be a
got,
banger. You got the
Zell
return
Huber,
of Paulo
Michael
Costa.
Johnson, Vittori Allen. That's just some boring white people shit. Yeah, you got.
That's a big fight though for the loser. The loser.
Yeah, Pacquiao and Jimmy Crute, another weird white people shit.
Hey, Crute is like a Jim Matthews type.
Yeah, you got all types of people. Ryan Span's back. I don't know why.
Hey, I just pulled his auto. I need to get some value out of that card. So Ryan Spann, you better win.
Well, he's fighting Bresky, so
on card auto. That's
Holland
what's
is
clean
fighting
about that.
again.
Already?
Yeah,
Oh, against D-Rod. Oh, that's gonna be a cool fight.
Yeah, man. So there's
Oh, hey,
definitely
the
some
little
bangers. Neil Magny.
little. This is a good fight right here. Vincenzo Oliveira versus Kyler Phillips. That's gonna be a good ass fight.
There we go.
Nick.
That's definitely for the MMA. You know,
The Stinkies. Man, Kyler Phillips fell off. Like I was like, I've been waiting to see him fight a while because he was doing great.
Was he on Roy?
Yeah, but yeah,
That was like years ago though.
Years
He's already
ago.
like fought like a few fights after that.
Fool looks like Asian Jesus.
And then that McVeigh guy, the McVeigh dude whose fight got canceled, he's fighting against the Hulk, Bruno Ferreira. So that's gonna be
Yeah.
Every
damn.
fight damn near is a banger.
Yeah, so he
Almost.
told you next week is a good
Except for
fight.
I was
the
just-
Judy's fight, but
I'll have to go back and look at it. But there was a
Look
card
at
I
it,
just looked
bro.
at recently. I was like, damn, that's a pay-per-view. What the hell?
maybe that was 319.
Oh, the
319's coming
discus.
up, and it's looking stinky. I'm
That's
looking at it.
that's my B-Day card.
That's
I'm
Paddy
gonna
Pimblett
for
and
sure get that.
Gagey.
Supposedly.
No, they're not gonna have it, right? Isn't that like
August 16th, allegedly.
Yeah.
Michael Page.
Well, he came out.
Cannoneer.
He said, "Y'all mad if you think I'm fighting in August?" And I'm like, after I seen Weeze with that picture of him, I go, "No way is this fool making 155 pounds anytime soon."
and the
Yeah.
return of King Green? Oh god.
Yeah,
No,
Khamzat
boy.
and Duplessis.
Hey, I'm going for DDP, bro.
Hey, D. Wait, he's the underdog too, and he's the champ? Disrespect.
Bro, the last time we seen this fool, he ripped off Robert Whitaker's jaw. Like that shit's crazy. We'll see if he can do it again, though. We'll see if he can do it again.
But yeah, till then, man, smoke out. We'll hit y'all back up next week. Good luck, Max. We out. Peace.